Hey guys, here is the program explanation of our intent with the block 10 or the current block that we just started. This block we started out, we're currently in the second week. This week kind of got a little bit of muddled from Murph, but we're kind of rolling with the punches with it. The way that this is gonna go, it's gonna be a roughly 7-week progression. I haven't got to the extreme end of it yet, but the thought process is going to remain the same. So it's going to be 6 to 8 weeks long. With our weightlifting, one of the things we're going to be working on in this block is doing some barbell complexes through mixed movements in Metcons. So that's something like that butterball complex you guys saw in week 1, where you guys had multiple different movements of your Olympic lifts that were in one complex. So, you know, hang clean into front squat, into hang power clean, into full touch and go clean, and being able to effectively cycle a barbell through multiple different movement patterns effectively with a relatively high heart rate. So that's something that we're gonna be doing. There's a lot of barbell complexes during Metcons where you guys aren't letting go of the bar. You're having to do a lot of reps in a row without letting go through different patterns. In the strength development, we are gonna be working on your guys' deadlift. So this is something to where, we're gonna be testing, we started out with a 3-rep, 3 to 8, and we're gonna be actually testing a 3-rep max at the end. But the goal is not a 3-rep max. The goal that I have with you guys on this deadlift block, or this block of strength training, is for you guys to really take the time and focus on hinging effectively through the hips. So I'm sure tons of you guys have felt this before. You're doing a workout where there's a bunch of pulling from the floor and your back is just lit up, just lit apart. Okay, that's not always good, and that's more than likely that's a movement pattern deficiency. So our goal during this is to rebuild our most basic pull from the floor, deadlift, and get you guys to really maximize your hinge pattern. So when we do this, a couple quick things like to think of, and I know your coaches are always walking you through this, but the whole concept is that you need to be hinging at the hip. And this is gonna allow your hamstrings and your hips to be the prime movers. If your hips aren't moving and we're just rounding at the back, now your erectors are your main movers, and that's when like your backs, you quote unquote, will blow up or get super sore or whatever. Now, in that same subject is like your back has to be strong as shit. It's got a really important job. It needs to support your spine. So all these muscles need to be really strong, but we just wanna be able to use them effectively. So during this deadlift, we did that 3 to 8 in the beginning, and then like this week and then the coming weeks, we're gonna be doing this EMOM of 3 reps. So you're gonna do 3 reps, resetting the floor every minute on the minute. You're gonna do 3 reps for 10 minutes. That's kind of where we're starting and building on that. But I want you guys during that piece to really focus on this is what needs to feel fatigued. Like sure, will your back feel like it's working too? Like yeah, because it has to. But if during that EMOM you feel like your lower back, your SI joint or something is just like shooting and it's aching, or you're having like pain there, that is not the idea. So if you start feeling that at any point, you need to let your coach know and we'll change something. So whether that's as simple as, hey, you're overloaded, you're just simply too heavy and you're not able to hold position, so we need to take the load down and build your tolerance there, we'll do that. Or maybe there's a positional problem that we need to fix. Bottom line, our goal with this deadlift piece is to get you guys to be able to hinge effectively and use these as your main movers, not this. So this can be really, really important. This is one of my favorite things to work on with you guys. So let's really take your time with these deadlifts. And if you're not feeling this and you're feeling this, please do not hesitate to just start asking your coaches, whoever's there, like, be the squeaky wheel. Let's get the help you need to get that fixed. Gymnastics, we're gonna be working on kipping handstand push-ups. We've done a lot of work in the past couple blocks on handstand walking and extended arm stability. So now we're gonna try to take that newfound stability and add a dynamic component to it, where you guys are actually gonna be going through a range of motion and doing a kipping handstand push-up. So we're gonna take our time, and even if you've never done this before, I bet you we can get you closer than you'd expect. So whether that's just like getting up to the wall for the first time, or doing your first negative, or starting to figure out how to turn your hips over, whatever it may be, we're gonna be really developing your guys' skill in a kipping handstand push-up. With this, you just gotta really focus on the hips, and your coaches can help you with all that, but if we can get your hips to do the work for you, these become much easier. We're also gonna be doing this double under progression. You guys have seen it tomorrow coming up, but anyways, your jump school and jump master, the jump rope metcons that you guys are doing. One of them is the EMOM, so if you're new to double unders and you don't have that many in a row yet, you're not really great at them, you've got this EMOM 8 of 30 seconds of work, 30 seconds of rest. You're just accumulating reps, trying to get as big a sets as you can and as many good double unders as you can, and just really work on the skill. And if you guys are good at double unders, there's that jump master where you're doing 250 reps for time, and every time you break or trip up, those are the same. If you break, you still have to do the burpees. Then you have to do some burpees. So it's getting you guys to do 250 reps as fast as possible and as big a sets as possible. And then when you break, you have that fatigue component of the burpee. So this is a really cool gymnastic piece we've got. Accessory. You guys have probably noticed it's not the most sexy thing in training. I know that I think it's a little bit boring as well, but it's incredibly necessary. This is stuff that I spend a lot of time doing, and it's not the most fun, but this is really, really important to keep you guys healthy long term. I have this type of stuff in the cash outs pretty frequently, but I know that you guys come here for an hour, and a lot of you guys, you have 1 hour exactly, and then you've got to get out. So in this block, I wanted to really show you guys the benefit of doing accessories, so putting them in the class and forcing everybody to go through it. I think a lot of people that maybe haven't done this type of stuff before are gonna see a lot of benefit from actually doing it, and then hopefully that carries over and you guys continue to do this even when it's not programmed. If you find that, hey, doing these internal hip rotations have really helped how my quad feels in my squat, or whatever it may be, the single leg squat holds, or whatever it is, if something benefits you, this is the type of stuff that you guys can continue when it's not programmed. This is the type of stuff that's gonna keep you healthy long term. So if you find something here that we do and you like, it's gonna be pretty tough to overdo any of those things that I give you guys. So obviously don't do it all day, every day, but you can do some of these things every single day, and you're not gonna, overdo it. It's gonna really benefit you in the long run. So that's why we have these in the in the classes. Just bear with me, I know they're a little bit boring, but it will benefit you. In your Metcon, our focus here is we're gonna have those barbell complexes that are in your Metcons. It's kind of tying in with the weightlifting. But also, I know you guys are all super excited for this mile run and the 2K row. We tested in with that mile run on week 1. If running hurts you, or you are just one of the people that's flat out refuse, you can also do the 2K row. So bottom line, they're both an aerobic test, an aerobic endurance test, and I like the skill of running. Summer, we don't get to run all year long, so to be a well-rounded athlete as much as we can, I would love for you guys that are able to choose that run and stick with the run. And if you have some sort of injury or you just flat out won't do it, then you have the 2K row option, which you're gonna get a very similar aerobic benefit from. So during this, we started out with that test, and then we're gonna be kind of breaking it up into intervals. So this could be I know next week you guys have something to where it's kind of a weightlifting complex plus a 400-meter run in intervals. And that's gonna be one way to get you guys to start sustaining a faster pace for that still same about a mile of total distance. So we're gonna kind of chop it up into segments and get you guys to pick a little bit, be able to hold a little bit of a faster pace than you would for your actual full mile, and still run the same relative amount of distance with a faster pace. And then we do that over time, you're gonna build up the tolerance to hold that faster pace longer, and then when we retest that mile or 2K at the end, chances are you guys are gonna be able to put it together pretty well. So that's pretty much the gist of this whole block. The big thing that I want you guys to really focus on hugely though is these things. All the other stuff is great for sport, and it's great to become more athletic and learn new skills. But these two things here, your deadlift and how to hinge correctly and pull things from the floor safely, and using the correct movement patterns, that's not just gym savvy, that's life savvy. So I really want you guys to make this your main priority, is to figure out how to deadlift without feeling like your back's gonna explode on you, because that shouldn't happen. Deadlift should be something that really helps your overall health of your spine and back. Same thing with the accessory. I really want you guys to take your time with this and make sure you put in the work and really try when we have these accessory pieces to figure out what we're doing and how this is going to benefit you long term. And even if some doesn't feel like it's that hard yet, I promise you it still has a lot of carryover long term. So those are the two main things. The rest of it's going to be a really good time and get you guys to improve your fitness. So I think that's pretty much all I got. So if you guys have any questions, just shoot me a message on one of the million platforms we got, and I will see you in the gym.